Hey guys, how's it going? Modern Musket here. Wanted to show a low profile placard setup that I've got. I've got a Spiritus Mk5 as the base, right? And it's got three 5.56 magazines in there, but it will also hold two 308 style magazines. And then on top of that, I have a HSGI Minimap V2. And this has a compartment in the back that will also hold two 5.56 magazines. And it appears two 308 magazines. Sadly, I don't have any, so I wasn't able to test that. But as you can clearly see, I've got five 5.56 magazines in there. So that alone is a big thumbs up in my opinion. You have a really low profile setup overall, really small footprint, but a lot of capability. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So with the Mk5, you've got an entire Velcro panel up front that has MOLLE integrated into it, that's laser cut. So you can mount stuff like this pouch on the front of it. And you also, if you wanted to, leave it slick so you can put IFF patches on it. And that right there is a solid win in my opinion. It's fully scalable. It's only one pocket wide. So you can have just submachine gun pouches in there, 5.56 inserts, 308 inserts, whatever it is that you need for whatever it is you're doing. And it also has lashing points on both the left and the right side of the pouch and MOLLE. Just a single column, but that's enough to use, say, a TKO pouch on from Spiritus, as well as like pistol mag pouches, stuff like that. Now the Mk5 is 6 columns long, so you have 6 columns of usable space for MOLLE stuff on the front. And what I really like about the pouch is because it is laser cut, you also have a sort of pass-through system. So for demonstration, you can see I have a Sharpie there. It's a blue one, just sort of contrast, but it goes all the way through. If you wanted, you could put a chem light in there and it would do the same thing. And if you need to sort of let others know where you are under night vision, that's a very usable setup right there. Or just in, low light conditions, you can just put a regular chem light in there. Or you can use it to hold something as simple as this, or you can use that full column for a pistol mag pouch, which is what I plan on doing. I want to put a Blue Force Gear Helium Whisper 10-speed pouch, say that 10 times fast, for a pistol magazine. That way, whenever it's empty, it'll be flat and it'll just not be in the way. But whenever I want to use it, what I would use it for personally is a visible light, so like a little handheld white light. And that would be my use case. And moving on from the base of the placard, the Mk5, to the HSGI Minimap V2, this really amplifies the usability of this. So originally I wanted something that could hold just a crap ton of magazines, and this triple taco magazine pouch does that, which is also made by HSGI, but it's pretty bulky. It's actually a little bit bigger than the Mk4, just like this is, but this has so much more usability. So going from that to this, I can hold 5 magazines rather than 6, but I also have an admin panel up front and I can hold a tourniquet pouch. So go ahead, I'll open this up. And of course I lost the little pull tab real quick. There we go. And I like the double zips that it has on it. Spiritus, Adam with Spiritus has talked about it a lot. It's best to have double zips on pouches. That way, in case one breaks, one falls off, whatever the use or whatever the reasoning is, you can still use your pouch. So I really like that. But I'll do a video on the inside of the Minimap, doing like a more in-depth one. Right now, I'm focusing more on this whole setup. But with the Minimap, you can open it up and it's a clamshell design, so it won't just flop open, which is really good for admin stuff. A lot of companies will resolve that issue by using bungees or some sort of shock retention, like a little shock tube, shock cord. And it works, but it's something that's going to wear out over time. It's something that can be adjusted, but it can also come loose, fall off. It's just, I prefer this style for my applications, which I don't do any sort of serious work. I just collect nylon gear. But with that being said, it doesn't have that, so it's a little more minimalistic internally. You do have a little pouch, or a little slot, I guess you would say, inside of the front flap of your mini map. And there's nothing in there, no linings or anything, no elastic. It's literally just a flap. And it's really good for write in the rain notebooks. You could put one of their little miniature pins in there as well. You can put large flat adhesive bandages, so like Band-Aids. That'll fit in there real nice. What was it called? Hyphen vents for sucking chest wounds. You can put that in there and it'd work just great. On the, I guess, the back facing portion of the pouch, you've got a lot of elastic. And I had them in there earlier, but I took them out to do a size comparison against the Mark IV, which I'm going to do here in a second. But you can fit compresses in there. You can fit nasopharyngeal airways. And of course, I'm speaking if you're trying to build this out as a medical pouch, which it's not meant to be, but it can be used as one if you want. One use case I see for this is if you have a really, really slim profile plate carrier, you can have just this pouch on the front, and you would not only have an admin pouch, but also 2 AR magazines on the front of your plate carrier. And you don't even have to have the Mark V or any other placard setup on it. So I see that as a really good use, as well as you can have it on the side, and that would be a great use for putting some medical stuff in there. Not a standalone IFAK by any means, but you can put somewhere like your boo-boo pouch stuff, like liquid skin, and like I mentioned, just some Band-Aids and, you know, some of the more trivial stuff. I also have some saline I'll show in another video going over just the mini map, but that'll fit in the elastic keepers as well. There's no Velcro inside, so it's not the most customizable by any means, but it is super usable, and I actually like the way they set it up. But also you can have it on the side of your cummerbund, and it would work similar to a JSTA pouch, which is sold by Spiritus. And I think those are some great use cases for this, but in my, for what I wanted, this is perfect. You know, it's a pretty low profile placard. It is a little more big than the Mark IV, especially the Mark V standalone, right? But it is a very, it's a usable system that you can use to build off of itself, which I really like. Just the fact that I have 5 magazines on the front of my chest rig, or front of my plate carrier, makes this is really accessible, right? You can get to all your stuff. I have an admin panel up front. I've got a tourniquet up front, and I can still build onto this if I wanted to and fill in the voids. I wouldn't want to build out anymore going off my chest, because you would start getting really big really quick. But this is a really low profile setup. And for comparison, now I'm going to strip this, right, of the tourniquet, pull that out. And blue is for training. That's an old training one I have for my EMT class that I took a couple years back. Take out all my magazines. And these are Lancer L5 magazines. No, I didn't buy these like this. I actually bought clear ones and I dyed them blue. So sorry for everybody getting your hopes up for thinking there's blue ones that are not training magazines, because the only blue ones out right now that are available are training mags. But go ahead and show y'all what this is like empty. Okay, sort of massage it a little bit. That's what the empty pouch or placard setup looks like. Okay, not huge by any means. And right here, already undid the clip, so I just gotta pull it off. Here's a Mark IV. It has the same triple 5.56 insert as this setup does, and it also has pistol mag insert and a half flap on it. And you can see it's really not much smaller than this setup right here, which in my opinion is a lot more usable. So got that right there as far as width goes. Okay, and then looking at it from the top where the magazines go, and keep in mind I am sort of squishing these a little bit because they are empty, but I don't have enough magazines that are dimensionally equivalent to Lancers to really fill this out and show y'all on the camera. But for what you get with these 2 pouches, I really love the setup. This mini map and the placard itself together are sub 130, I think, sub $130. And that's if you have inserts laying around. If you don't have inserts laying around for your Mark V, you're gonna have to get some in order to really use it. But this mini map holds 2 mags by itself, so if you are on a budget, you can at least get the mini map first, have 2 magazines on your plate carrier, and you can later on upgrade and get a Mark V with the insert and add this to that insert. So definitely a scalable option, very usable. I like how if you wanted to just run the mini map, I mean, you can have your tourniquet up front. You don't need a dangler or anything flopping around if you don't want. You have MOLLE capability on the front of the mini map pouch. You also have Velcro, so you can put your cool little tactical pouches or patches on there. You have zipper pulls, 2 of them, so you always can have access no matter what. And it's really good. It's an admin panel. It's not gonna just dump all your stuff out, right? Because it's not held on with shock tube. So a lot of pros and not many cons, honestly. That's my dog. Chose a hell of a time to start making noise. But yeah, that's the placard. Guys, I appreciate your viewership. If you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them in the comments. I'll be sure to respond. Thanks again. I really appreciate all y'all's time that y'all spend with me. So thanks. Y'all have a good one. Take care.